Alright guys, in this video, we are going to focus on how to define an element in HTML, including what is a nested HTML element. So let's get started. And if you have been following me up from the introduction video, you will know that HTML elements cannot be mentioned without mentioning tag, because what makes up the HTML element is both the opening tag of the element and the closing tag of the element, including the contents. That is what makes an HTML element, just like the one you see on the screen right now here on my text editor. So let's declare one or two more HTML elements in reality here right now. And for that, I'm going to start by like coming under this one here. I will not clean it, but I want to use it to show you what it means by tag name here and the tag name here at the back also, okay? So that you understand it clearly. So here under here now, I'm going to declare some few elements. And the HTML element is always started with the opening of a tag name. So the element I'm going to declare here is going to be the heading element. So we write a heading element by starting with the opening tag. And this is how the opening tag is being written. The opening of an arrow bracket, #1, then close the arrow brackets. Then here, as you see, after the tag name, there is supposed to be a content inside here. But in good practice, it is always advisable, as in to close the element or tag, like this one here now. This is the opening tag of the #1 element. So now I'm going to close it properly by writing the opening of an arrow bracket, then followed by /, and also the same #1 that I wrote in the opening tag. Now I close it with the closing of the arrow brackets. So this is always a good way to declare an element. Like if you have followed me from the introduction of this video, you will realize that when we were setting up our first HTML document, that I said whenever you opened your root element here, always come down here to close it. Then before you continue adding any other thing inside it, just like the ones you see I've done here. So now here, as you see, that I have closed this #1 element. So after closing it, it has to have a content here, which the content can be anything. For example, I can say this is a large heading, which is the #1 heading. So this whole declaration is called elements, starting from the opening tag, which is #1, to the closing tag, including the content, is called an element. And you will see that the opening tag and the closing tag are the same thing, but the only difference is the /, which you can only find in all the closing tags. So this is the closing tag. You can see the / there. Come down here now on the body. This is the closing tag of the body. You can see the /. Same thing on the closing tag of the root HTML element. You can see the /. And this applies in all the HTML elements. Then, moving ahead, as you have had me mentioned from the beginning of this video, that I'll also show you what is a nested HTML element. Now, in reality, all HTML elements is a nested element, in the sense that starting from the HTML root element, the head is inside the HTML root element. The title is inside the head that is in the HTML root element, which means that the title and the head is nested inside the HTML elements, including the body. And these two elements inside the body, they are all nested inside the HTML root elements. So that is what it means by nested HTML elements. Because as you can see, if you come down to the body also, these two elements here, the #1 and this one we use as example, are all inside the body elements. So they are nested inside the body elements, while the body element is nested inside the root elements. So just like this, it goes on and on and on. So that is why it seems that all the HTML elements are nested elements. So you get the point now. Now, moving ahead, as you know, that there is something we call empty HTML elements. And those empty HTML elements are those elements that doesn't have a closing tag and does not have a content like this in it. And one of those empty elements is this element called the BR tag. So this BR tag is something we use in breaking a line, like as this sentence here on the H1 is now. So let's say, for example, you want to break it. You can use this BR tag, which is regarded as an empty HTML element. So if I happen to, like now, for example, now, clean out these BR elements, let me, for that, declare a P element, which is a paragraph element. Then just type anything in it, like saying that this one is a paragraph. Okay, make sure you close it also, P paragraph. And now, if I happen to, let me say, duplicate this into a few more times, and this is it here, and without adding the BR tag yet, let me first of all come up here and save this file by coming up here and click on Save As. Now change the name to index.html and come down to Save As type. Here, change it to all files and make sure that this is on UTF-8. Then come up here and choose the folder where you want to save this your particular HTML code. Then now you come down to click on Save. So if I happen to launch this particular code now on a web browser, which is, as you see, here it is. That is it here. Let me double click on it to launch it open. And as it opens, you can see how the paragraph display without a line break. So that is why, as I come back here now and add a BR tag, let's say somewhere here, then I write opening of the arrow brackets, BR, and close the arrow brackets. Now, if you save this now, Control S to save it, then go back to the browser. Now refresh it. As you can see, that paragraph has been broken. Now it has taken the rest of it under the initial paragraph. So that is the work of the BR tag. So now I added one. If I like, maybe I want to break it more, I can just add another BR tag in front or at the back. It doesn't matter. And save it again. Then go back here, refresh it. So that is the same thing if you come back and add another one, which is 3. Save it, come back here and refresh. You will see the space will continue like that. So coming back here again, let me clean out 2 out of this and remaining only 1. So now I think this is all you need to know about an HTML element. But before I round up this tutorial, let me use this opportunity to let you know or to remind you that HTML is not case sensitive. Because if you are writing a programming language, so many of them are case sensitive, which means that capital P and the small letter p is not the same thing. So, but HTML is not case sensitive, which means capital P and the small letter p can be used in declaring this paragraph. But the standard way of writing an HTML code is with using small letters. Just as you can see that everything here is small letters, except here on the doc type declaration. Apart from that, every other things are written in small letters. So I will suggest, if you are writing your own HTML code, that you should also know that all these tags and elements should be written in small letters, except here on the elements. Anything that is placed here at the center is where you can change and write anything you can write. So you can decide to use capital letters here or whatever. You understand? As far as it is here in the content area. But in the tags name, it should be written with small letters. That is the standard procedure. So, and with this, that brings us to the end of this particular video today. So in the next video, we are going to move on with the topic of what is an HTML attribute. So until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next videos.